And joining us now is NBC News military analyst, retired four-star Army General Barry McCaffrey. Thanks for being with us tonight, General.
Good to be with you, Joyce.
So first, as you know, the U.S. Justice Department just today announced criminal charges against the leader of Hamas, other senior militants in connection with that October 7th massacre. Why did it take so long, and why now?
Well, this investigation, I think, culminated only when the principal object of the whole exercise was to recover the hostages. And it was clear that if you announced it any earlier, it could affect the negotiations. But look, Joyce, there is no more cruel a dilemma imaginable than the current situation. Tens of thousands of civilians killed or injured in Gaza, 60% of the structures knocked down or damaged. The Israelis have been trying to respond to the 7 October attack, in which Hamas murdered brutally 1,200 some odd civilians, took 250 hostages, and then carried out a defense by tens of thousands of terrorists underground in tunnels and enmeshed in a civilian population. It's not clear to me how there is any resolution in sight. At some point, we have to assume that Hamas will reemerge and become again the engine for preparing for the next war against Israel. So it's a very discouraging situation.
We've seen these massive protests of Israelis demanding a ceasefire hostage deal. President Biden accused the Prime Minister today of not doing enough to try to free them. And you saw Benjamin Netanyahu really double down on the lack of being able to reach an agreement. What do you make of the current situation, especially with the president's accusations against Netanyahu?
Well, there's no question that the families will agree to any measures to get their loved ones back, and I'm sympathetic and understand that motivation. On the other hand, there's strategic need for Israel to survive. And if the ceasefire entails putting thousands of convicted Hamas criminals back into the Gaza Strip, and if the Egyptian-Gaza border is again a conduit for weapons, money, trainers from Iran principally, and if we see that there is Israel is forbidden from conducting operations inside Gaza as terrorists reemerge, then you'd think, well, all we're doing now is setting up the next cycle of mindless violence. I don't know where this is going to go. I think probably the Biden administration has been relentless in the pursuit of peace. So at some point, perhaps the two sides will agree to a temporary ceasefire and get some of these poor 70-some-odd hostages back. That includes infants and women and old, elderly people.
We're almost out of time, but I do want to know what you make of the reports we're hearing that the president is close to presenting this sort of take it or leave it final hostage deal. What might that look like?
Well, it certainly will have to, if it's take it or leave it, it'll have to give Hamas the ability to control their own border with Egypt. There were massive tunnels between Egypt and Gaza through which came the engines of war. So I don't think Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, believes he is winning the information war, and he is. So at some point, it seems very likely that Israel will crack, and to gain release of the hostages will start the process of another ferociously dangerous attack on Israel in the coming years.
We're going to have to leave it there, General, but we'll talk with you in the days ahead because this is, as you said, so far from looking to be over. Thanks so much for your time and your insight on all of this tonight. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you.